Hey, Tubies! Woo! It's Psychic Bob. It is so rocking to be back with you guys. Well, I tell you, we're going to have some fun tonight. You know, Psychic Bob is all about having a good time. And have we got an amazing and special person here with us tonight? I hope you're seeing him on your screen. Actually, he's that way to my left.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Brian. This is Brian Sharp. He is known as Brian the Medium. Brian, why don't you say hi to everybody?
Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Hope I can maybe help some of you out tonight.
Well, we hope so too. We are so excited. You know, guys, as you know, and I said it last week, I said, if they're on the Psychic Bob show, you know they're good because I don't let just anybody come on. I love my tubies. You know, Brian, I have to tell you, I'm very protective of my tubies, and I will not let them associate with people that are bad psychics or scam artists. No way. Only the best. So, you know, guys, we are really privileged because Brian is one of the top mediums in the country, and he hails out of Texas. Is that right, Brian? Texas, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, people are all over the world these days. I can't keep straight where anybody is. And he is an amazing psychic. And we're going to get into your story here in just a few minutes, Brian. But
okay.
I got a few quick things. I got to give some shout outs here. First of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you who came up to yesterday's video. We had such a good time. If you didn't see that, we talked about the coronavirus. So many of you have been sending me letters and very worried. Well, you know what? I took it to the spirit world because, you know, and Brian, you can back me up with this. The spirit world seems to always have something to help us, don't they?
Absolutely. I'm constantly surprised at some of the answers I get. So.
Absolutely. See, Brian can tell you too, because he knows. And, you know, so yesterday we had, you know, Brian, we had a great seance. I don't know if you got a chance to sit in on our circle, but you were there. Wonderful. Well, we had a great time, I think. And I want to give a shout out, say thank you to everybody who came out to that. You know, speaking of people coming out, we got a lot of people in chat tonight. I got to give a few shout outs here. Look, there's Ray Camden's here. Yay, Robert Stevens from Oklahoma. Hi, Robert. TGVG's here. Kim Osborne's here. Maria H is here. Mr. 72368. Stojance is here, all the way from Macedonia. Melanie Miller, good to see you, Melanie. Kim is here. Davy Jan is here. Kim Osborne, Stojance, Miss Sylvia. Miss Sylvia's here all the way from England. Wow, you're up late, darling. Thank you for joining us. Bela Claire is here. You know, it's like midnight in England right now, you know. Cringosaurus is here. Oh, yay. Cringosaurus says they're a fan of you, Brian. Isn't that wonderful?
Oh,
there you go. See, well, I hope by the end of the night, well, I don't hope, I know by the end of the night, all y'all are going to just love Brian as much as I do. I'm a fan of Brian. I mean, I tell you, when I met him, I saw him and I said, this guy's amazing. I saw a picture of him. Before I even met him, I saw a picture. I said, who is this man? I know he's somebody special. I just know because, you know, I look at pictures, I get energy from them. You know what I'm saying? Do you ever do that, Brian?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, see, we mediums understand that. And, you know, Brian, people I know here are going to be so excited to learn about you. And I thought, you know, not to overwhelm you, but maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of, you know, whatever you want to share. How's that?
Well, I've kind of been doing mediumship since I was very young, probably around age 6, and I didn't even realize it. I grew up in a Pentecostal family, so we were kind of always taught, you know, that mediumship and things like that were all evil and wrong, and that was very difficult for me because I always knew that there was something about me that didn't quite fit with that exactly, if that makes sense. And I remember when I was 6 years old, I awoke in the middle of the night. I saw an apparition at the end of my bed, and I've had other experiences since that time, but I think that was what really kind of started me questioning my life's purpose.
Wow. You know, this is so interesting to hear you say this. hold on just a second. Brian, can you turn your volume on just to do it? I'm getting a little feedback here. Just a time.
You said down?
No, turn your volume down on your end, your speaker volume, just a little bit.
Got it. Is that better?
That's better. Yeah, thank you. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. But it's interesting that you said it started when you were a child, and I've also had, this was my experience. Now, I didn't see an apparition when I was little, but I used to get what I call premonitions of, and for me it was horrible because I always knew when death was coming. I didn't really like it. I was curious, did you find growing up as a psychic that you had to repress it, or was it, did you feel scared of it?
It was like, I think the first time when I saw the apparition was very frightening to me, because I didn't understand what it was. I only knew it within the context of what I'd been taught. And so I think that first time was very, very, very jarring for me. But as I got older and I had kind of some other experiences with spirit communication, I kind of started to acclimatize to it. It didn't feel as threatening. Now I almost, it's like I even have people that I've lost, people that I personally have known, who come in and help me with readings, and it's like it's always great to see them, because it's just like Doris Stokes said, you can't die for the life of you, and if our loved ones wanted so much to help us out here in life, why would they not want to do that from the other side?
Boy, I so agree with you with that. It's so interesting to me because, nowadays on Earth, it's so popular to be atheistic and deny there's a soul. And in fact, unfortunately, I think a lot of the schools are trying to indoctrinate people into materialism. And they'll tell them, if you want to be intelligent, you got to forget any spiritual belief. I think that's so wrong, don't you?
Well, I kind of perceive it this way. I mean, I've come to learn to kind of think of God or higher power or the universe or however you want to call it, as kind of, almost like a diamond. Every spiritual path is like a face. Well, it's like a face on the diamond, and no one exactly gets it 100% right, but they're all kind of different ways of conceptualizing and seeing and understanding the same thing. So I think atheism can fit into that too. I mean,
well, I'm not necessarily per se against atheists, because I've met amazing atheists who, like, I know one person who's a scientist and he doesn't believe in any of this, but he has what I would call spirituality, and he says, I believe in evolution. And the way he describes evolution, to me, actually is a form of mystical belief, interestingly. He doesn't think of it that way, but I do. But what I'm talking about is there's a what's the word I say? A militant atheism that's going around that wants to crush any chance or
the dogma.
Yes, that's the word.
Yeah, believe our way 100%, or you're 100% wrong. That's kind of what you're getting at.
Yes, yes, you're saying it perfectly. And I just think, like, I don't know. I walk out at night, I look at this cosmos, the sky, and above me and the stars, and I feel this connection to, like, power that is so amazing and mystical. And I don't know. I think we're all, like you're saying, the different facets of the diamond. I think you're absolutely right. We're all picking up different facets of truth and light and knowledge. No,
I would totally agree. I totally agree with you.
Well, I want to ask you, like, so when did you first start doing readings? What was that experience like? Like, were you like a teenager, or I'm just curious.
It was terrifying, because you have to realize, as a medium, you're not actually doing anything. All you're doing is giving a voice to spirit. But I'm not the one who comes up with the message, so I never know what spirit is going to give me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, it kind of feels sometimes like standing in front of a firing squad. But I think the first few times I did it, I was really surprised, at just how much information the people that I was reading for were confirming. I think I told you, Bob. I also work here in Texas as a mental health counselor.
Oh yes.
And I remember I had a client who came to me one time for mediumship, and she told me, she said, I've been through years of counseling, and just an hour with you did more for me to bring healing to me than years of therapy. And I'm not suggesting at all that anybody just quit therapy, but it but I think it has its place, mediumship. I think in fact, there actually, I don't know if you're aware of this, Bob, but there's actually research to kind of determine the efficacy for using a mediumship as an adjunct to grief therapy. Were you aware of that?
No, I was not aware of it, and I'm very impressed to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, isn't that amazing? Well, you and I have talked before, and I told you, I believe, it's my personal belief, I don't have scientific, but in my world, I believe that the subconscious mind is the kind of the doorway. It's the bridge between the material world and the spiritual. Because I believe that the human brain is wired in a way that doorway, that I call it like almost like a flap, like a mud flap or a dog flap.
Yeah.
You have dog, your house has a flap, dogs come in. Well, that's our subconscious, is that flap between this world and the other world. That's my belief, And I think that as science delves into the mind, they're going to find that, that connection in that area of the brain, I believe, And, I'm curious, I love that you've done that you do mental health work. And I was going to ask you, what do the doctors say? Do you encounter doctors who have a spiritual belief, or have you encountered anybody who's affirmed you in your mediumship in that field?
One of my best friends actually came to me for reading. She's a physician, and her husband's a physician as well. And then her mother has a PhD in clinical psychology. I've known her mother for years now. And they came to me several years back, wanting me to help them because she had lost a pet. And the pet is now in spirit. But, at the time, it was really hard for her dealing with the loss. And so, I remember the way it came through to me when I saw it. It kind of like I was describing it to her, and I had never seen this pet, but I was describing it to her, and I said, it's really small. It almost looks to me like a mouse or a rat. But I realized afterwards I was seeing it really far away, and she said that's exactly what it looked like. But that was my cat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was like, it's crazy because you never know how spirit is going to convey information to you.
Isn't that amazing? I love that. It reminds me of one of my own experiences. When I first started out in mediumship, I was working at this store, at a metaphysical store. And a lady came in. Now, I'd never really read about animals or for people with animal issues. And this lady came in, sit down in my chair. And while I'm talking to her, I'm tuning into her energy. I see literally come through the wall behind her the head of a horse. And it looked like Mr. Ed, this giant horse. I mean, can you imagine a giant horse had come through the wall? And I was sitting there and I was like looking at my eyes, I guess were kind of like,
jarring.
Are you okay? And I said, yeah. And I said, I think there's a horse behind you. I said, he looks like Mr. Ed, and he's got an apple in his mouth. And the lady just starts crying. She said, that's why I came for a reading. I want to connect with my horse. And I thought, oh my God, I would have never got that. Like that to me, like, was amazing because I had no idea. So when you're telling me about this lady's dog, oh my gosh, that's really brilliant.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Hold on, just got to throw out some here. Somebody in the chat says, Jules says, Brian, check out Dr. Peter Bregan if you're not familiar with him yet.
I'm very familiar with him.
Oh, okay. Can you tell us about?
Yeah.
I don't know about Dr. Bregan. Sorry.
He is very very much opposed to the use of psychiatric medications. He's a psychiatrist. I can't say that I totally agree with everything that he's published, but I come from a more person-centered perspective. I think medications certainly have their place. I think they're highly overused though. And some of them have some really nasty side effects. So I'm not a doctor. I would never tell somebody, please don't take your medicines. I mean, that's not my place. But at the same time, I feel like the current mental health environment, especially here in this country, it's become very focused on medications, almost to the point of taking relationship out of the equation. And I don't think that's a step in the right direction.
I have to agree. Well, I when I was younger, I had an anxiety issue. I ended up in a hospital, thought I was dying, and I come to find out I only had an anxiety issue, and it runs in my family, I believe, on my birth mother's side. But
yeah.
One of the things that they were telling me, and I was very fortunate because they said, well, you could take medicines for this, or you could work on behavioral therapy techniques. I chose behavioral therapy because I just didn't like the medicines. I'm not saying and I agree with you. I think for some people it's the path, like they have to have the medicines. For me, I felt it wasn't my path. And I actually overcame the anxiety issues through behavioral techniques, understanding what my triggers were and how to manage that. And I haven't had an anxiety attack in over 25 years now. So I've been very fortunate. But boy, I have a lot of sympathy for people who struggle with that issue, particularly because I've been there. And it's.
I mean, I totally get where you're coming from, Bob. I've had panic attacks myself, and they feel debilitating.
Yeah.
But I talk to some of these people who have been taking Xanax for 20, 30 years, and I'm thinking, oh my God. I mean, that's a highly addictive substance. It's more difficult to come off of than, even alcohol. I mean, It can be really dangerous just to stop it. And for some of these people who've been on it for so long, it kind of tells me, I mean, I'm not a doctor again, but I'm just I'm thinking in the back of my head, who the hell are these idiots who are keeping people on these medications for that long? I mean, that's not why they were invented. That's not why they were put on the market in the first place.
Well, without getting political, I think Big Pharma has a real grip on our whole medical industry. Personally.
I agree with you.
That's a whole nother show. I don't want to start because we'll get a ton of hate mail.
Sorry, you got me on my soapbox, Bob.
No, I have to agree. I think you and I share the same thoughts on that, But one thing, speaking about mental health issues and stuff, is a lot of people would accuse people like you and me of being, psychotic or schizophrenic or schizoid or something. And it's been my experience as a psychic and a medium. I've actually read for people who are truly schizophrenic. This is a whole energy cycle in itself, that illness. But what I do find very fascinating is I have found a very high percentage of these schizophrenics I've met to actually also be psychic. And I think it's a whole separate issue from being schizophrenic. But it's just interesting. I mean, I'm just curious, in your work in mental health, have you encountered people who are schizophrenic, but also you truly know are psychic, apart from that?
I won't say I've come upon it a lot, but I have experienced it. And there usually tends to be there usually tends to be a difference in the way, they present. So with somebody, I actually had somebody who came to me, and I can't go into a whole lot of detail here, but I actually had somebody who came to me one time and knew tons of stuff about my background, my childhood, and this is back before I fully embraced who I am as a medium. I mean, I was kind of still trying to talk myself out of that aspect of my life. But when I met this person, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what is going on here?
Wow.
And it was just like, it was so different from what I've seen with some of the other patients I've worked with in the past. I guess where I have the issue is I there tends to be such a stigma attached to mental health in this country.
Yes.
And I just really hate that, because I think if you really get to know most people, I would say probably a good 85% or 90% of them have at sometimes had some symptoms that might be indicative of a mental health disorder, even an adjustment disorder. I mean, we've all gone through things that have caused us stress. It's been hard to deal with. I mean, so, that's a mental health issue.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And I guess the thing is, what really bothers me is that, the again, it goes back to the kind of the dogmatic, rigid, orthodox mindset in medical that, if I go in and I say, well, I work as a medium to a psychiatrist, I say, well, what does that? Oh, well, I talk to spirits and I chant. They're getting ready to have a prescription pad. You know what I mean?
I think it depends on the psychiatrist. I really do, because I've met psychiatrists who are very, very open to what we do. But I've met some who are just like, they've already got their truth already clearly defined in their head, and nothing we tell them is going to change their mind. But I've had people come to me in the past who didn't really identify what I was telling them at the time during the reading. They only came because somebody urged them to come and talk to me. And like I remember one man, he came in and he was like, he sat there the whole time, totally silent. I was called for group reading one time, and there's about 7 or 8 people, and this man, he was sitting there totally silent, and I knew something about him was a little bit off. And as I was giving a reading, to the other people, I noticed my own reaction to him was kind of like I wanted to avoid him, and I didn't know why. And so I asked Spirit, I was like, what's going on here with this guy? And all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, he doesn't believe in this. He thinks I'm a bunch of BS. And so I just told him, I said, sir, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt here. Do you mind if I address you real quick? And he said, yeah. And I said, I really get the feeling that, and I'm not even sure why I know this, but I get the feeling that you just don't believe in mediums. And his face looked like I just hit him or something. And he told me, he said, yeah, I mean, I'm very skeptical. And I said, well, that's totally fine. It's okay to be skeptical. But once Spirit had me kind of mention that to him, and he acknowledged it, he started acknowledging other things I was telling him too. So he actually told me before I left that day. He said, I've been a very skeptical person my entire life, but he said, you really got me thinking about all this today.
This is a wonderful. See, you're doing a break. Hold on, Brian. I got to interrupt. I got to give a shout out. I just saw Kelly in the Raw. Kelly Coffee is in the house with us tonight. Hey, Kelly, shout out to you. You know Kelly, don't you, Brian? She's wonderful. So, well, Kelly, welcome tonight. We're glad you're here. What a treat to have you with us. Brian, it's so interesting, your situation, because, I think that I believe that Spirit many times will place us mediums in positions like that
Yeah.
because, you know, like that person needs a breakthrough. And it's like you were there at
Yeah.
the right time. And I just find it amazing the synchronicities that occur, you know. And I always say there are no, you know, accidents. It's all kind of ordered, you know.
And I don't know if, like, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, Bob, but, you know, on that same order, when I would give readings before, it was like I started to notice, you know, sometimes that I would get the same types of people in mediumship, you know, the same types of people in spirit that would come through. Their personalities were so similar. Um, they tended to come through the same day. And then, you know, did you ever experience that? Did that ever happen to
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
There's like this energy of like, okay, it might be the day for alcoholics who have redeemed themselves in spirit. So the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
reading of the day, their grandmother comes through, says, "Oh, I've overcome my alcohol addiction." Then the next reading is somebody whose dead husband comes through, has overcome their alcohol. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. And it's like a theme starts to develop. It's very interesting. No, I
I
agree.
like I even notice it in my counseling work, you know, when I'm working with clients in counseling, you know, I kind of notice like I have theme days there. It's like I'm certainly not advertising that, but you know.
Isn't that fascinating? What an
Yeah.
interesting job that you have, that you work with mental health and you're a medium. I'm trying to think of all the different psychics I've known over the years, and I don't know anybody. Oh, I do know one person,
Mm,
one of your friends, Doris Stokes. She worked in psychiatric mental health, as she
yeah.
told me. But it's just interesting. You're like the first person I've ever had on the show that has this background, and I think is very fascinating. You know, I think it's wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Hi, Nova just gives a shout. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Bob. Hi, Brian Sharp. Hi, Nova. We're glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Kelly and the Rawls giving you big hearts. Kelly, Psychic Kelly. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Well, you know, Brian, you know, we might be up to doing a little few readings tonight. I'm thinking if you feel like you
Okay.
might want to explore some of that. Are you feeling the
Okay.
spirit tonight? You think you might be up to that? Because I know we'll probably have some
Uh,
people with some questions here.
I'll give it a shot.
You know,
I can't
well, you know,
I can't guarantee anything.
well, you know that. Well, see, that's the thing I try to tell people. We can't guarantee anything will ever happen.
Right.
You know, I always tell people, I said someday I might sit down for a reading and nobody's there, and it did happen to me. It's happened a few times. It's rare, but when it happens, it's always like I said, well, we'll just have to meet another day.
Yeah.
But well, you know, before we do that, I thought if we could do a little meditation, maybe kind of open our channel so we can start to tune
Great.
in a little more. Does that sound good? All right. Well, I want
Absolutely.
everybody out there, hold your questions. We're going to get to those, okay? But we got to do some meditation and open the channel. So I want y'all to get comfortable. Take your hands off your keyboards. We're going to just close our eyes for a moment. And as we close our eyes, I want you to visualize in the middle of your chest area a little spark of white light. And I want you to see that spark of light become a little brighter and a little larger. Let it expand and fill your whole chest now. It's like a warm cloud of light, cloud with a sun inside of it, gentle and bright and warm. Let that light just fill the chest. Feel it releasing tension and bringing in peace. Let that light just rise up into the shoulders now, up into the neck and up into the throat. This light moves very effortlessly and quickly through your body now. Let it rise up into the head. And as that light begins to fill your body, let it continue to release all tension and all anxiety. Wherever this light goes, let it bring in peace and balance and healing. Let that beautiful light now flow down each arm. It's like waterfalls of light flowing down to the hands and fingers. Let it release tension there and bring in healing. Let that light move down through your shoulder blades now, down through into the lower back. Let it continue down from the chest and into the stomach. Let that beautiful light just wrap around your body. It's like a warm cocoon of gentle, soft, nurturing, protective light. Feel its power. Just soak it into your body. Wherever there's pain and discomfort, just let that light move now and start that healing process. Let that light flow down through the hips now, down through the thighs, down to the knees. Let that wonderful light just flow and bring in peace, balance, and healing. Let it move down to the shins and calves, down to the ankles, and all the way down to the feet and toes. Now, as you look within, I want you all to see and know and realize that you are now filled with this amazing and divine light from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. Remember that in this light there is no fear, there is only peace, love, joy, and acceptance. This light is your connection to your higher self and your connection to your higher source, however you define that. Now I'm going to be silent for just a brief moment, and during the silence, let's all keep our eyes closed. Let's stay within and focus on that light and that gentle healing presence inside. So now I'm going to be silent just for a moment as we do this. Very good. Now, we've been working in the spirit body, and I want us all to come back slowly now to the physical body. So let's start by moving our feet a little bit. Let's move our hands and fingers. Take some deep breaths, get the lungs working. Move your head. And when you're ready, I want you to come back. And when you return, you're going to be alert, be refreshed, and be feeling hopefully very good. And when you're back, you can open your eyes and you'll be fully present. All right. Are we all coming back? Very good. All right. All right, I'm going to throw out a question here. Let's see, our first question tonight. Christine C. I heard a noise on or around my nightstand. Oops, hold on, it just went by. Sometimes we have a little trouble with our chat in this program, Brian, so bear with me here.
Sure.
Around my nightstand last night, I wonder if it was a spirit or a mouse. Let me tell you, Christine, I'm getting a spirit presence. The reason why is I'm hearing like a distinct tapping sound. And usually the spirits tap on solid substances to get our presence. So I'm curious if that's the sound you heard, but I do feel that you are drawing spirits here. I get a woman around this on your mother's side, the family. I think it's the grandmother on the mother's side who was busy, and she comes around quite often. And Brian, do you get anything around that you want to throw? If you don't, that's okay, but just throw it.
That's crazy that you said that, because when you first read the question, I kept feeling the grandmother presence in the room. I'm not sure why, but I get like a like I see in the room, and this is really all I see, but I see a little like a small dresser or side table, and it looks like a very light colored wood, like almost like pine. It kind of reminds me of pine, just the way it looks. And I get like a lot of zigzag shapes or curves. It almost looks to me like something kind of old fashioned that's been around for a while. Maybe something from the 50s or 60s. If you know what I'm talking about, Bob, in terms of that.
Yes, I get a lighter. That's so funny because I get a light wood too around that. That's so interesting.
Yeah, and I feel like this grandmother presence was really close to you. I'm not sure that you were ever really that familiar with her, but she's always been protection for you. And she comes in every night. It's like she comes in to tuck you into bed. She comes in to check on you. She comes in to even like she leans over the bed and gives you a little kiss. And I'm seeing a pair of glasses like on top of this dresser. And I feel like those are there like every night. So I don't know if those are yours, if they belong to somebody else, but that's what she's showing me.
Okay. Well, Christine, let us know if that makes sense to you. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you, Brian. That was wonderful.
Sure.
Okay, let's jump down here. Cool games for you. Any messages from my spirit guides? Should I continue to try to pursue a career in music? Well, Well, let me tell you, Cool Games. In terms of spirit guides, I get around you. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but I swear to God, it's true. I'm getting a guy from, what's his name? He died. He was African American, died in the like early 70s. Played guitar. Hendrix, Jimi
Yeah.
Hendrix. That's who's around. Honest to God, he's got Jimi Hendrix around him. He's around you. I think you're supposed to do music. Yes. You know what's interesting is I feel like you're about to walk away from it, and I'm going to tell you don't, because you've got a turning point. It's not going to be till around the summer of this year. But when we get to June going forward, I feel like there's some sort of, how it goes, like a collaboration or something, like he may be working with somebody or joining a new group or some type of coming together of people in the summer that pushes you forward on that career music path. So I think you want to stay with it, but call on Jimi Hendrix. Brian, you get anything around that?
I also like, I don't know why they're telling me this, but I also feel like you maybe suffer from maybe a mild form of depression. I feel like it gets worse, when the seasons change, almost like a seasonal affective type thing. But I feel like you're kind of sensitive to that. And I also get, when you take on a new endeavor, it's like it's funny that you're asking this question, because this is kind of how I am. And so, here we go, spirit putting people in the right place at the right time. I get the sense that you really tend to be a person who jumps whole hog into things. Like you put all your effort into it right away. And then when the results don't instantly come, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm giving up on that. And I feel like that's kind of been a pattern for you in this lifetime. It's certainly, I mean, as I said, I tend to be that way too. I'm a Leo. I don't have tons of patience, but I feel like, I feel like with this issue, I feel like it's something you're going to have to stick with, because it's going to even continue into your next lifetime. I see you doing music then as well. Were you getting that, Bob?
Yeah, I do. Cool Games has an artist theme and a performer theme, so they're definitely meant to be on the stage. And I don't say this flippantly or lightly, because a lot of people write me and say, PsychicBob, I'm going to be famous, and I always say, no, you're not. But this person really, I feel, has, because Jimi Hendrix is around them, I think they're being pushed towards a much larger expression of their talent, and I think it will take them somewhere. So I'm going to say yes. Okay. Hold on, we just got in a donation, Canadian, $10 from Jan Black Hat. Hi, Jan. Thank you for your donation. Jan says, hi, Bob. Would love to hear what you guys see around me. Kelly told me about you, Bob. You are awesome. Oh, bless your heart. Kelly, so Kelly's here tonight with us, Jan. Kelly, thank you for sending Jan our way. Jan, let me tell you, when I'm walking into your frequency right now, I'm getting literally, this is some weird sparks of light in your aura. I feel like you have some sort of connection to the Fae or the fairies. And I think that this ties in with one of your past lives as well, that is connected to the Celtic Isles, like Ireland, I believe, or like Wales or Ireland. But I'm getting a past Celtic life around you here. And, I feel like around you right now, you're at a place where you're kind of being tested in a sense. I don't like to say tested. That sounds a little harsh, but you're being called to step into your power. And I think that you have a lot of energy, particularly in the psychic area and the magical area, and connecting to earth energies and Fae energies. And so I'd like to encourage you right now to be open to literally starting a dialogue with the spirit world, because I keep getting around you the name Morgan, one of your spirit guides. And I don't think it's Morgan Le Fay, but she was somebody who admired Morgan Le Fay, and she took the name Morgan. It is a Welsh woman in spirit from the Middle Ages named Morgan, who's one of your spirit guides. And I keep hearing her say something about she's ready now to step into her new beginning. And I keep feeling like when I go back this last maybe even 2 years. Brian, I'm curious what you'll get around this. But I feel like this last 2 years you've been stuck. And now it's like, okay, I'm ready now to launch. So don't be afraid. This is a year of great power and transition. Brian, you want to throw in anything on that?
I like when I first heard your name, Jan. Like the first thing that spirit was showing me was this really beautiful dark purple energy, and it's almost like it's like a bubble around you. It totally encases you, but it's like it's mixed in with gold. And just like you were saying, Bob, with the sparkling light, that's how I showed it. That's how it was shown to me. But I see you actually I see you actually doing healing work, and I feel like I don't know if it's like Reiki, but that's how it feels to me. It's like I see you doing something and really big, really kind of passing that along, because I feel like you tend to be the kind of person you want to help everybody, which is great. I mean, that's a very noble place to come from. But at the same time, you have to be careful with it, and you have to always attend to self-care, or else you burn yourself out. But I do see you actually kind of developing that strength more. I see you using that to help people on a psychic level, just as you said, Bob. Like I get this rich kind of very strong connection to deity, and I feel like for some reason, I don't know why, but I see you kind of forming a connection of some sort, like with it feels like the Greek pantheon to me. I see you really into like Greek mythology. I don't know if that'll make sense to you, but that's what they're showing me. And I see you kind of developing that and using that to actually bring healing to other people.
Isn't that beautiful? Wow. Thank you, Brian. See, isn't Brian amazing, guys? I love him. I'm such a fan. I can't believe I got him on the show. I'm so honored. This is so cool. Oh my gosh. All right, let me throw another question out here. Let's see here. Tina Sellens. Hi, Tina. Tina's a regular here. Gosh, good to see Tina. Okay, Tina says, my world feels upside down. Been feeling abandoned. What's happening? Thank you. Brian, I'm gonna let you jump in first on this, if you feel it.
I don't know why, but like the first thing I pick up around you, Tina, is like I'm sensing a move. Like I'm sensing relocation with you, and I feel like like I don't know if this has to do with your current situation, but it almost feels to me like there was a breakup or something that happened, and it's like it's taken you so long to get over it. You feel like you're just kind of like in this void, and it feels very empty. But I see you actually like really picking yourself up, and like I see you making a long distance move for some reason. Like it almost feels to me like I want to say like I don't know if it's like New England, but it's kind of like it's northeast to me, is how it feels. And it feels like it's connected with your work. And I feel like that's going to be kind of a fresh start for you. It's going to give you a chance to kind of leave all the stuff on the doorstep and just totally forget about it. So I think that's a good step in the right direction, Jan.
I think that's wonderful. Oh, can you hear me okay?
I think I said Jan by mistake. I meant Tina. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Something's wrong with my microphone. I'm having trouble hearing or something. But I agree with you, Brian. I think that's wonderful. I'm 100% with you. Time frame around this, I keep getting August, September is significant. Like that's a turning point, like where this really starts to manifest for opportunity to do a transition. So I think that you're ready, and you're going to be building power over the next few months. But by late summer, early fall is where I pick up that this really is underway for you. So in terms of feeling abandoned, I also think, I have to tell you, Tina, I agree with Brian in the sense that I feel like you're kind of doing healing from a relationship issue, but I'm also getting this kind of interesting thing where you're opening psychically, and some of what you're feeling is you're having a little bit of flashbacks from some past lives where you were abandoned, either in relationship or like death of somebody. And I think that you're becoming more psychically sensitive, and that's triggering some what I call infused knowledge that is affecting you on an emotional level. So I might suggest also for you a little bit of grounding, some daily meditation, and I would work with the stone black tourmaline. That kind of helps balance the emotions, and rose quartz. Both of those are wonderful emotional helps in the healing area. So,
would you mind if I added one more thing, Bob?
Go ahead. Yes.
So I, like as you were talking, I also got the sense that like I get like I don't know why I get sleep issues around her. Like her sleep does not feel very restful to me. It feels very restless. I feel like she's up during the night, and it's almost like this tape keeps playing in her head, and she can't get it to turn off. I would really suggest, I don't know if you ever sage your environment, but I really feel like, especially the bedroom, I feel like you need to kind of sage the space, get some of that heavy old energy out of there, and you will feel a difference. Like you can physically sense the difference when you do that. I actually just saged my space today, so it feels lots better. So
yeah, wonderful. I think that's wonderful. Well, Tina, I hope that helps you, darling. Thanks for being here tonight. You're blessed. You're such a blessed person. We're so blessed to have you here. And okay, let's jump down here. Hold on. Let's see whatever it was. B. LeClaire just gave us some feedback. Says the messages the messages. Hold on. I'm going to read that. It was really good. The messages tonight here have been great. Thank you, B. LeClaire. Thanks for being here. Ghostly Girl is here, and she says, any messages for me and my son Gerardo? Ghostly, I got to tell you, when I'm walking into your energy, I'm getting a lot of purple around you. You are a natural medium, and I love your name, Ghostly Girl, because I think it really works for you, because I do feel that you actually have a connection to the earthbound souls. And I do think that this year you're going to find that you're able to do a lot more direct intervention in bringing souls to the other side and helping them get over. So I think you're a natural medium. In terms of your son, Gerardo, I have to tell you, I feel like he's at a transition point. I keep wanting to talk to you about the month of April around him as if he's starting a new focus. Could be like a new schooling or education, but I'm getting him coming to a time of learning that's pushing him kind of out of his comfort zone, but he's ready for it. That's the only thing I know how to say around that. But I feel like both of you are at a time of growth, and it's like you're growing, he's growing, and just keep your communication going between you, because I feel like on some level he may feel that he wants to separate from you, not because he hates you, but I feel like he kind of feels like he has to go out on his own, and you might feel a little bit of abandonment there with him, and just try to keep talking with him so he's not self-isolating or feeling he can't talk to mom, you see. Right, you got anything you want to add to that?
Well, I've got to say, I feel like Gerardo is just he's sharp as a tack. I don't know how old he is, but he feels like when you said that name, I kept seeing like a younger boy. I don't know if that's what you were sensing, Bob, but
yeah,
he feels to me like he's like a little Einstein. I mean, he's really very intelligent.
yeah.
And I kind of feel like you kind of I kind of feel like you're kind of the only one kind of really taking care of him. It kind of feels to me like you kind of take on all the responsibility, and that feels to me like it's been having a physical effect on you lately. It's kind of like you've been feeling more fatigued, especially in the evenings. It's like there's just a heaviness there, and I don't feel like you have a whole ton of energy by the end of the day. I feel like you need to take better care of yourself in that regard, and kind of delegate some of those responsibilities to other people, because it's like you really feel to me like someone who is everything to everybody, and that's great for a short time, but it doesn't work in the long run.
Very good. I think you're absolutely on with that. As the British say, spot on, chap, spot on. I love that when they say that. All right, let's see. David Jan. Hey, David. David Jan's here all the way from Israel. David Jan says, I'm in desperate need of guidance right now from Spirit. Please help me. Many blessings. You know, David Jan, I have to tell you, when I'm stepping into your vibration, I'm getting like flashing orange light around you. But it's not flashing in a sense like it would normally be pulsing. It's almost like somebody's turning off the power. And for me, from a psychic perspective, that means that you have some sort of fear of abandonment, that you're losing a connection with somebody or a situation. And I got to tell you, you're not going to lose the connection, but it's your fear that's making you feel disconnected. Because what I'm getting around you is like when I go 2 weeks ahead, I feel like you're saying, okay, I'm back on track. So I feel like there's a miscommunication here with somebody, or there's something that you may be internalizing in a way that is not necessarily, and I don't say that to be critical, accurate to what actually is going on. So be very careful right now that you don't respond to anybody out of a state of panic or fear. I want you to kind of slow everything down because I'm getting racing energy through your head here. And I think literally in 2 weeks, you're back in a balanced position. I get also, since there could be a financial issue around some of this. And Brian, I don't know if you're picking up anything on that as well, but you know, I'd be interested to see what you're getting here too.
Not much, to be honest with you, but what I am getting, like I don't know why I pick up like a lung or breathing issue with you. So I don't know if this is like asthma or if you have like really bad allergies, but it like it almost feels like asthma to me.
Okay.
And I feel like that, and I get also like a stomach issue that tends to get it tends to really take over, you know, when you have a lot of stress going on. I'm not sure why, but I'm being guided to have you kind of meditate to the Archangel Ariel. And I feel like Ariel is going to be helping you with that. But it's like I feel like giving you the tools to kind of take a step back. But that's what I'm getting. I hope it helps.
All right, wonderful. I hope that helps, David Jan. Let us know. Kimmy D just donated $14.99 to this. Thank you, Kimmy. Oh my gosh. Kimmy says, I had to put my dog Trini down yesterday. I'm so sorry. Did I do the right thing? Does she have any messages for me? Thank you. You know, Kimmy, I'll tell you right now, she chose to go. Now you're saying, oh my God, I had to put it. No. There's a soul understanding between animals and their human friends. And she let you bring her. She was ready to go. She was in a lot of pain, I feel. And now she's thanking you. She is in the light, and she's around you right now. But right after she died, she went straight to the light and she got healed on every level. And you're going to be hearing from her very soon because she's going to come back in the next week, literally, to let you know she's fine. And I just keep picking up an energy of total release and thanking. It's just thankfulness. She's thankful you helped her to go home. See, you know, Brian, I think you'll agree with me. Animals don't have these hang-ups we do. They're pure love. And they don't have the fears in the sense that we do around this. Right. She's ready to go, you know. Do you have anything you want to say?
Well, you know, it's funny, you know. I like a few years ago, I actually had to put my dog down, and it was incredibly difficult. I still think about it, but it's like now sometimes when I'm giving readings, you know, I'll see him kind of running by, and I'm like, oh hey buddy, but you know, I don't know why, but I sense was this a bigger dog? Like I feel like there was some size to this dog, and I get almost kind of reminds me of like a German Shepherd with the colors, some browns, some whites, some blacks in there, but a really, really pretty dog. And I feel like, you know, just before she crossed over to the other side, I feel like, you know, there was like this one last breath, and it was almost like she looked up at you. Like it was like she looked up at you, and that's when she passed. That was really her way of saying goodbye. I love you, and trust me, I'm going to be fine.
Oh, that's beautiful. Kimmy, I'm so sorry you're going through this, but you know, we're with you, and I'm glad you shared that with us tonight. And you know, this is, Brian, this is why I created this channel, Spirit Channel. So it's a gathering for people. You know, we all help each other through the good, through the bad. We're all a family here. And, you know, and now Brian's part of our family, isn't he, guys?
Well, we're all part of we're all part of God. I mean, we're like I think I told you before, Bob, when we talked. You know, I was always taught to conceptualize God as, you know, some being that was external unto me, and really, you know, we're all part of God. Like we're all part of the same matrix, if you will. So you know, being able to recognize that connection in other people and to value it, I mean, is really what this lifetime is all about.
I so agree. I see Miss Sylvia in the chat. Miss Sylvia is here, stayed up late all the way from England. Miss Sylvia says her question: any messages for me, please? I need to hear from Spirit. I'm a lost soul at the moment and stuck at a crossroad. Miss Sylvia, I got to tell you, hon, you know, when I step into your light, I know you're in a lot of pain for a lot of things. I won't go into, I know a lot about her situation, but I got to tell you, Miss Sylvia, the actual light around you that I get, even though you have some bright pink light, that tells me you're in a true emotional pain. Beyond that, I'm getting the most brilliant yellow light, and it's a sign that you're about to step into your higher self. You're really right now at a turning point, and I feel like the month of March is very significant here. Looks like there's an issue coming with an opportunity in the next few months here to do a move, but I feel that March starts that process for you, because by the time we're into the summer months in June, July, I feel that you're resettled. You're at a crossroads where you need to, and I'm just going to be blunt here, you need to let go. You need to let go of those things you're holding on to because you got a lot of fear. Well, what if, what if, what if? And I really see you right now holding on to a relationship that I feel is literally pulling life out of you. And you're ready to let go. And you know you want to let go. Spirit's going to help you. I get around you here an angel presence. I'm getting it's actually Archangel Raphael around you. He's one of your protectors, and I want you to work with him. Fletcher just said Archangel Michael as well. Both of these angels are protecting you now. I don't see danger for you by making some bold moves now. I feel you're ready and you are being guided and protected. Okay. They keep showing me Cambridge here, the city of Cambridge, England. And I do believe that you're going to Cambridge. So I want you to be exploring opportunities there because it's going to come very quickly for you in the coming months. Once you step into that and let go of that fear, you're flying. You're flying literally. Brian, would you have any words of wisdom from Miss Sylvia?
I don't know why, but I sense physical abuse with this relationship, and I feel like, you know, I feel like this is something you're going to have to distance yourself from, but you're going to have to do it very, very privately. I don't feel like confrontation is a good thing. I feel like that could make things much, much worse. I feel like it's almost like I see you leaving in the middle of the night, and it's like you're kind of ducking under the radar, which is exactly what you need to do, because I feel like this man, I don't know why I get heavy alcohol use with him. Were you picking up on that, Bob?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes, I have to say, and drug use, I believe.
Yeah. And I really feel like, you know, I feel like if he knew you were going to try to leave the situation, I feel like it would get very, very violent very quickly and put you at very extreme risk of danger. I feel like you're going to have to do this privately. but I feel like you need to get out of this relationship as quickly as you can. It feels very toxic to me.
I agree. Miss Sylvia, you might want to also, I don't know if they have it in the UK. We have it over here. We have special things called women's shelters, and they have counselors there that help you do an exit strategy in a way that keeps you out of harm. And a lot of times they'll help a woman move to a secret location. And they even it's all pre-planned. It's amazing how they do it. I know this because I actually volunteered for one of these shelters once. And I would like you to see if you can locate a women's, in America, we call them the Women's Resource Center. And it may be a different name in England, but I bet you'll find that if you research that. I want you to research that because I think you're going to have some help, some little help to do that. And it won't be hard, but you gotta make the steps. But I agree with Brian. Please be very discreet about this.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, John. I hope that helps you. Oh, Brianna Brady's here and just donated $10 to show. Brianna, thank you so much, darling. Brianna says, hello, guys. Any messages for me regarding what I'm doing wrong during meditation when I'm trying to reach spirit? Brianna, I can tell you right away, darling. And I say this lovingly. Brianna's wonderful. I know Brianna and Brian. So, Brianna, one of the things is that you're going about this with perfectionism. What I keep getting is you're trying to force one method of meditation. And I always tell people, try these techniques that I teach, but you don't have to stay with them. I feel like you're getting caught in a rigid pattern, and that's why it's not working for you. And it may be that you need a different type of meditation. Some people do better, for example, with open eye meditation. Some people I try to teach meditation to, like we did with the light at the beginning. For some people, that's a challenging meditation. And so if they can't visualize that, I also say, well, you can open your eyes and just look at something, draw and study the details, look at every little facet. That's a form of meditation as well. And I think what you got to be careful is that you don't, first of all, strain it. You can't, this is the thing. Meditation is not meant to be a challenge in the sense that we strain to do it. Limit your meditation to 5 minutes for right now. Don't try to do an hour. That'll overtax you. Brian, you have anything you want to add on that?
I have some very definite opinions on this subject. Like I think I told you, Bob, I also teach mediumship. So I've had students, from all over the U.S. I had one in the U.K. I even had one in Australia, and so it's been really rewarding to me to be able to kind of mentor them and kind of just be a sounding board for them as they unlock their own gifts. And I think the thing with meditation to remember that's so important is you really can't go into it with any preconceived expectations. Like if you go into it with, I'm doing this because I'm going to connect with somebody who's passed, you're likely setting yourself up to fail. You really have to go into it with no expectations and just allow the information to come because it will. Would you agree? Would you agree with that, Bob?
I do. I think, how do I say this? I think that we have to be careful because meditation becomes dogmatic and rigid as standard religion. And so I think you're absolutely correct that don't go into it with preconceived notions. Just being present for the intent to try to do it sometimes is all that's necessary.
And it's like meditation is not the only way to connect with the spirit world. I mean, it's a wonderful way. I love meditation. I meditate myself, but it's like, I guess you can kind of think of it as a tool. But when you're ready, when spirit knows that you're ready, spirit will open that door for you.
Absolutely. I agree. All right. Another question. Stranger Things 1. Any messages from the spirit world? Well, Stranger Things, I have to tell you, I'm getting Merlin around you. Merlin the magician, literally Merlin the magician. Now, people think that's mythology. He's actually a spirit guide to many people. but he's around you in spirit. And he said that you're opening psychically this year. And this is a year where you start to really have that stronger sense of connection. And the spirit world's all about you and talking to you. I keep getting issues also here. He keeps showing me, looks like a listing, like job listings. And I get the sense there may be some sort of job that's coming for you or offer of work. This feels to me like it might be a part-time position because I'm getting education and work around you. So you might, I don't know if you're doing schooling right now, but I'm getting both of these around you. And Merlin is giving you blessing to kind of go through this year with greater ease and a greater connection to the spirit world. So that's one of your spirit people. Anything you want to add, Brian?
I'm not sure why. And this is like, this does not go along with that. But I feel a connection to, to somebody in the spirit world who feels to me like they were your grandfather. I'm kind of feeling like this is on Dad's side. And I don't know why I'm getting the name George. So I don't know if that's a first name, a middle name. I'm seeing a connection with boats. He shows me like a little sailboat. So I don't know if that'll make any sense to you, but I feel like that person is with you and is ongoing protection for you. And I feel like you're a lot like this person. I mean, your value system. It's so similar. Like he's very much a one-on-one type person. He's very introverted. He's all about, making sure that other people know they're not alone. And you're very much like that too. So I feel this person around you and I know that they're going to be giving you help in that.
All right. I like that. All right. Thank you. I hope that helps you. All right. Next question. Selenite Moon just donated $4.99 to the show. Thank you, Selenite. Questions. I had dreams months ago of events happening this year. How can I calm the insanity I feel? Calm the insanity I feel, and why have I seen so far into the future? Well, first of all, Selenite, let me just say, I do believe you're opening. And sometimes when we open psychically, it can be a little overwhelming at first. It's literally like the floodgates open, and I get that energy going on around you. One of the things that I would like to ask you to try to do is what we call filter. And the reason I say this is when I was younger and starting out as a psychic, I was terrified of being psychic because I always got death premonitions. I can still do it. I can pick out people and tell them the exact death date. It's not something I enjoy, but I do it. And when my teacher was training me, she said, Bob, how do you feel about this that you're taking on? She said, I sense some anxiety. And I said, yeah. I said, I just feel overwhelmed because when I try to open up psychically, it's just ominous stuff and it just scares me. And she said, oh, well, we can help you with that. I said, really? She said, nobody's taught you to filter. I said, what? She said, yeah, filter. I said, well, how do you do that? She said, well, you make a deal with your spirit people. When I'm out shopping and having my private time, you're not going to bother me. Because I used to go to the shopping mall and get everybody's stuff. She said, you tell them you're not receiving that. And she said, and you define what you'll receive. So you're not going to get hostile information, death premonitions. You don't need that unless it's absolutely necessary for whatever reason. So nowadays, when I open up psychically, I don't get all that. So what you got to do is you got to make a kind of a compact, an agreement with your spirit people. So you just say, spirit people, I only want to receive things that are beautiful, that are of the light, that are helpful to me and to others. I'm not going to take death premonitions. I'm not going to take these end of the world scenarios. And I will only receive stuff if I can get specific dates, times, or places, and how to stop it. You see? So like I generally, for example, in my own life, I don't get death premonitions unless there's a way to stop it. Like a person came to me once, they were going to have a heart attack, and I saw the exact date and where the heart damage was and how it could be fixed. And I gave it to them and it saved their life. That was a time when I got a negative premonition, but it was helpful. So nowadays I don't get all of that. Anything you want to add, Brian?
Well, no, I was just going to say, like like for most people when they're first developing psychically, and I know that this is certainly the case even with me, and with my students, it's like, you know, it's just like you said, Bob. I mean, it's like everything just floods you.
Mhm.
And it does. I mean, it feels very overwhelming. But I've kind of almost learned to think of that as Spirit's way of letting you know, hey, you really do have this gift. Because once you're kind of used to that for a little while, once you're used to the floodgates and you get your confidence up in what you're doing, that starts to kind of die down. Spirit turns the volume down on that. I would suggest, you know, I don't know if you do any grounding, but I feel like, especially before you go to bed, I feel like you need to just take a couple of minutes and just set that intention that you're going to ground and release some of that negative energy that you pick up during the day, because I feel like that's why you're having I sense nightmares with you. And that's only like, that feels like a new thing. It feels like it's just started happening. And what that really is, you know, like they feel like nightmares, but it's actually just psychic information that you're picking up even while you're asleep. So I feel like you need to ground and shield yourself before you go to bed at night.
I agree. And one of the things I might suggest selenite moon. Oh, hold on. Did you hear me, Brian? I'm getting weird feedback.
No, I didn't.
Okay. One of the things that I would suggest selenite moon is also get a bowl of salt, like a cereal bowl, fill it with salt, put it in your bedroom, on your bedstand or in the dresser. I put mine across the room on the dresser because I flail around my sleep. I knock it off. But wherever you can put it, close, somewhere in your room, bedroom, that will help also ground down that excess energy. You know what I'm talking about?
That's crazy, because I was just thinking salt and then you said it. So
All right. See, Brian and I, we're on the same wavelength there tonight. It's so much fun, guys, to work with him. I love him. Would you guys like Brian to come back? I think we could have him on soon again. If Brian wants to, we haven't scared him off.
sure.
This is so much fun. We're a little over our time, Brian. We usually end at an hour, but we had.
Sure.
Are you up to taking maybe just one or two more questions?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Jose A is here. Hey, Jose. Good to see you. Jose writes and says. Oops, I just lost it. Could you read my energy, Bob? Is there any messages for me? Jose, I got to tell you, I'm getting bright yellow and gold light around you. I love that. This means you're at a time of transition, a lot of learning going on, a lot of discovering of your abilities. And I feel like you're ready to kind of put yourself out into the world. This may be a time of like literally job transition for you as well. And I feel like you're ready just to let yourself shine. So don't hold back on your talents. You have a gift for communications, and I feel like you're a natural teacher as well. And so I'd like you to be open to work that you're connecting with people, sharing concepts. Allow yourself to discover your voice, because I feel that on some level you hold back your thoughts. Like you're in a job and you think, well, if I could tell them this, it would be better. And I feel like you want to be in a job where you do get to do more expression. And I think that's going to bring you not only joy, but it's going to bring you an increased paycheck as well. Anything you want to add, Brian?
I was just going to add, I don't know why, but when I first heard your name, Jose, I I was going to ask what kind of work you currently do. I don't know. It feels like more, it feels to me like more physical type labor. It feels like there's a physical element to it, and I don't feel like that's where you're supposed to be at all. I feel like you, just like Bob was saying, I feel like I see you kind of like getting into this role, like job training. Like I feel like I see training people. So you might even look into like a training role, because I feel like that's where you're supposed to be. I kind of feel like though you're like you keep waiting for something to happen with this current job you're in, and it's like like you keep kind of delaying your next move, because it's like, well, I've got to wait and see what they're going to do. No, you really don't. I mean, this is your decision. This is your career. You're the one who has to be in the driver's seat.
There you go. All right. All right. Next question. Maria H. Hope that helps, Jose. Thank you. Maria H. Does my 13-year-old, oops, hold on, it flew by. Does my 13-year-old daughter have a negative attachment? She's awoken with 3 faint scratches. Let me step into her energy. Hold on, Maria. Maria, I got to tell you, I'm getting, now don't take this the wrong way, but I'm getting a cloud over your house. To me, that feels like that there are, it's like where you're living, there does seem to be earthbound spirits. I do think your daughter does have an earthbound spirit that visits her. I think it visits you as well. I think your whole family is being kind of drawn in, or your power is being drawn out, I guess I should say, by entities. I get about 3 different entities around your house. And I don't say that to scare you, because you'll be able to get back control here. But I do think there is spirit influence around you. I also think that your daughter, interestingly, like yourself, is naturally psychic. And it's interesting her age, because this is an age where many times children that have psychic ability, it comes out in extreme ways. So don't be surprised if you start to see like all the lights in your daughter's room explode, or she tells you, Mom, I didn't turn the stereo on at 3 a.m, full blast, but you hear it. She's not lying to you. I think there is some paranormal phenomena going on around her, but it's really connected to the property where you're living. I don't think that you're being haunted per se as much as there's an energy vortex around the property. And I think because you're naturally psychic, and she is as well, it tends to flare it up more than it would for most people. Also, this is another case where I think salt in the bedrooms would be very good at night. And one of the things with your daughters, and Maria, forgive me for saying this, but I want you to be very careful, because I feel on some level you are yourself becoming panicked about this, and it's heightening it in her. And I want you to be very nonchalant, because I think your daughter's so sensitive, she picks up your anxiety as well. And then it just creates this cycle of panic between both of you. Right? Does that make sense to you? Are you with me on any of that?
No, I totally agree with you. I was going to ask, while you were talking, Bob, like I got the sense of Maria, like I feel like you are rather prone to panic attacks. So I don't know if you've actually been diagnosed with those before, if you've had treatment for those in the past, but I feel like, you're naturally prone to those. And I feel like, when your daughter is kind of seeing some of that happening with you, and I feel like that's been happening more as these phenomena have been happening. But I feel like as your daughter kind of sees you kind of go into panic mode, it's almost like it turns her switch on, and that's what she starts doing. So I kind of feel like I'm totally in agreement with you on this, Bob. I feel like you have to be very calm, cool, and collected about this whole thing. I would also suggest, if you I don't feel like there's a lot of sunlight typically in your daughter's room. I feel like you need to get more sunlight in there. Maybe even open the window during the daytime, because I feel like this heavy energy in there, and just kind of shutting out the light is not really helping it.
I think that's interesting. That dark cloud energy around this.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right, Brian. Well, Maria, I hope that gives you a little help, darling. Thank you for being here. Brian, oh my gosh, I had to tell you, I don't know where the night goes. It just flies. But guys, we've enjoyed having Brian here. Brian, I am so honored that you've taken the time.
No, I'm really thankful that you had me on. And I'm glad I got to. I'm glad I got to meet some of you too. I hope I was helpful.
Well, I think you're amazingly helpful, and I think everybody here loves you. And
Great.
Brian, if people want to connect with you, how can they do that? Are you doing private sessions, or are you teaching, or what all can you offer to people?
I am I am giving private sessions on a limited basis. I'm doing those. I'm doing those over the phone, but I also work as a mental health counselor, so I have to kind of juggle my time sometimes. And I am currently, accepting students. I'm going to take on probably no more than 4 students, and I work with each one of them individually. We have weekly sessions, and I'll help them, step by step to help discover their own abilities.
I love that, Brian. That's wonderful. Well, guys, listen, you need to connect with Brian, and you'll see right below his picture here on the screen. This is your website, isn't it, Brian?
Yes, yes.
www.brianthemedium.com. Now, if you can't write that down or whatever, we will have the link after this video processes, about 20 minutes after we finish a show. It'll be up and processed. And I put his link in the description box below the video. So you can come back here tomorrow if you can't do it tonight and get it. It will be in the description box. And I really want to encourage you guys. You know me, I will not give a reference. Brian, I'm not saying this to sound self-important, but I get a lot of requests from a lot of psychics. And Psychic Bob, will you endorse me? Will you come? Can I be on your show? And honestly, as you guys know, I very rarely have guests on because honestly, I haven't found many good psychics out there. But Brian is somebody that I 110% endorse. I have no hesitancy of handing any of you over to him, knowing you will be in safe hands. You guys, a lot of you love me, and you know I love you, and I would not let anybody have access to you that would be damaging to you. Brian is the real deal. He is a true medium. He has amazing abilities. He's blessed my world. I'm so honored to get to know him and count him as a friend. And I think you guys want to make room in your life for him as well, because, we all need to work together to kind of get through this life. And, a psychic reading, I say this, Brian, you've heard me say this probably, I would say it's an investment in yourself. So when you buy a reading from Brian, you're putting energy into your own journey, and it's worth it because, mediums, we really do have a special mission from God. And I'm not saying that to sound self-important, but it's just how it is. And, if you're at one of those transition points and you're saying, gee, I'm just at that crossroads, maybe I need a little help. Why don't you sit down with a good psychic or medium? Have a reading with Brian, because he's going to get you on the right path. And I can tell you, I have and it's very rare to hear me say this, I have no hesitation of letting you all go straight into him today and be helped by him. 100% real, 100% accurate. Wonderful man.
No pressure, right, Bob?
No pressure. Well, 100% accurate. Let us say no psychic's 100% accurate. Myself included. None of us claim. But we do the best we can. And I think you will find that Brian's going to really give you a lot to think about. And he's going to give you the tools. See, a good medium gives you the power to move forward in your life. They don't enslave you or control you. Brian, you and I have talked about this. If a psychic ever tries to control your life, they're not a psychic. They're a cult leader, right? Yeah. We don't need that. No, Brian's not a cult leader, but he is an amazingly gifted person who will enlighten you and make your journey a little more fun, a little more enlightened, a little more easier to get through. And
my cult leader responsibilities are only part-time, Bob.
That's right. Don't worry, Brian will only ask you to do self-sacrifice after 3 years. No, he's amazing, and I'm just, Brian, I want to say thank you again for being here. This is
you're so welcome.
Special tonight, and I think everybody's had such a fun time with you being here. Before we go, guys, also I got to tell you, if you haven't got a chance to go over to my website, to PsychicBob.com, I have a new artwork here. And this is my newest painting that is now available on my website. And the name of this painting is called Other Side. And if you go to my website, you can see it a little clearer. My screen here doesn't show it as well. This is also now available in a t-shirt form at my merchandise store. So right below this video, or below any of my videos, you'll see a merchandise store, and you can get this in a t-shirt form now called The Other Side. So it's an abstract impressionist piece, And it's meant to convey the concept of new beginnings, starting fresh, the new horizon in a sense. So if you like this, go to my website, get a copy, print it out for yourself, print out another copy, frame it, give it to a friend as a gift, you know. Brian, you've heard me say, I believe that art is a form of channeling. That's one of my channelings. I channel imagery. And so that's something I want to offer to you guys as well tonight. So see, you've got a lot of presents. You can go visit Brian, get to see his website, go to my website, get your picture. Guys, we want to help you. So give us calls. If you want to get on my schedule as well for a reading, my phone number is 703-825-3929. You can call. That's my office number, easiest way to reach me. Or write to me at my email, my official email, PsychicBobHickman@gmail.com. Those links will also be below. Brad, do you have an email that people can write you at as well, or is that done through the website?
It's actually Brian the Medium at gmail.com. So very easy to remember.
BrianTheMedium@gmail.com. There you go. So visit his website, send him a letter, connect with him. You guys will be blessed for the experience, just as I've been getting to know Brian. And Brian, I hope you'll think about coming back again. We would love to have you. All right. Would you guys like Brian back? Oh, I can see him already. The letters are going to be flying in. Well, guys, listen, thank you for being here. Brian, is there any other words of wisdom you'd like to share with us tonight before
I think, just before we leave tonight, I want to just let everybody know I had a great time tonight. I hope I was helpful. And I think the hardest thing to really keep in mind in this lifetime that has so many responsibilities and day-to-day hustle and bustle is, we have to take care of ourselves. And I would encourage each of you to make that a daily appointment with yourself, is just to show yourself good self-care.
That's a beautiful. Thank you, Brian. Well, we will all make that time for ourselves, and you're great. Gav just says, it's been great. Good night, guys. Yeah, he's up late. He's also from England. Thank you for coming out, especially all of our European viewers. You guys, I know it's late for you, and I'm really honored that you make the time to be here, even at 1 a.m. in the morning. So thank you for being here. Well, Brian, we look forward to having you back. Guys, make sure to be here tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Monday. Horoscopes. Be here tomorrow. We're going to see what's in the stars for you. Look at the major transits, and I'm going to give readings for every horoscope sign. So whatever your zodiac sign is, be here tomorrow, and you'll get your horoscope. And make sure to also, Brian, do you have a YouTube channel yet? I forgot to ask.
I don't know.
All right. Well, he may have a YouTube channel soon. So we'll check back with him on that. But definitely go visit his website in the meantime. Well, guys,
I probably need to get one so I can put my cult leader videos on there. But
that's what we need. I can see you in your robe with a flaming torch. Strange ritual. I love it. All right, guys. Well, listen, we'll be back here tomorrow for horoscopes. And in the meantime, may all of you always blessed be.
Bye, guys.